Hacking in entry point Freelancer's cut is very useful, if not outright overpowered in stealth. But what about loud? Is it actually any good? Disclaimer, the skill tree in this video is not optimal, nor is it meant to be. I got triangulation 2 for the sake of using the device scan hack, but obviously that means I can't really take any loud perks. And then I'm also getting remote access 2, which you guys will see why I did that later. Okay, here we are. So one of the first things I'm doing is dropping my backpack just so I move a little bit faster. Now, it's important to get the manager hostage because we're gonna need the keycard later, since I'm doing plan A, obviously. Here I'm doing a really weird strategy where instead of going all the way to the computer to start the override, I go through the access point and traverse, which I don't think is any faster, but the point is that I can go back and get the phone, which is great since I don't have any teammates. Now comes the most important part, which is to actually start the override. I probably failed like 5 different runs just because I forgot to start the hack until it was like way too late. So yeah, don't do that. Anyway, now I'm just looking for the server room since it has the rest of the stuff I need. This computer lets me get both the vault code and the box number at the same time, which is really nice. And the reason I got remote access 2 was to access the network switch, which I'll show you guys why I did that later. But basically, you can traverse from it later. Now, another very important step is to get your gear and then get the vault keycard from the manager. It does suck that you have to interrogate first because I don't really have a use for that. Now it's time to head down, and I actually forgot that you can just take a security keycard to open this door. Otherwise, you would drill it. That's why I'm bringing the drill. Although if I was going to get a keycard anyway, and I don't need to drill, okay, whatever, not a big deal. Obviously a C4 would be preferable, but I can only bring one, and I'm going to save that for the vault. So it's a very easy way to die. Here I'm accessing the computer, even though I already have access to it, just to free up resources because this cancels the traversal, and I'm going to need more hacks running later. Here I'm using device scan on the access point, and I'm not going to lie guys, I don't really think it's worth it, considering you can't really take any other perks, at least not solo when you're the only person and you don't have a proper loud build. But I guess it is somewhat helpful being able to see units from a distance, because then when they're going to rush, you can actually expect it instead of like having to react in the moment. So it's nice to have, but again, not really that important. Being real, I would probably have been fine without it. As powerful as Executioner is, F57 is still pretty good without it. I was actually surprised by how quickly I destroyed all these units. So now comes the tricky part, which is opening the vault. And you have to be fast because you do not want to be rushed in this area, or you will probably die. You want to have the code memorized before you get to the keypad, instead of looking at it after you get there, because even losing a second or two could get you killed. Like, seriously, I had a run that was just, yeah. I thought everything was fine, except I misremembered the code. I actually remember the code from the previous run, so I had to enter it again, and yeah, it didn't end very well for me. So I do feel like hip firing here was a mistake, and maybe I could have saved the run. Okay, yeah, I guess that is kind of a skill issue. Anyway, the last part of the run is pretty normal. For the most part, of course, I'm using a C4 to open the box. The difference is that because it's plan A, I also have to carry the money. I mean, I don't have to, but that's kind of the point of doing plan A. Okay, we have finally reached the final part of the mission. This is pretty straightforward, so I just want to answer. Is hacking worth it in loud? Well, kind of. Having a hacking tablet is definitely very useful for plan A, especially solo, because then you don't actually have to go to the camera operator's room to authorize the hack. You can just stay in the basement the whole time. Actually, you don't even need advanced protocols or any hacking perk for that matter. Just a normal mercenary build with a hacking tablet can get the job done. The only other thing that does make a difference is efficient algorithms, which does speed up the override by a bit, but otherwise, yeah, I guess bringing an actual hacker build loud is generally not a very good idea, but bringing a hacking tablet is technically hacking, so I guess it's not completely useless. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.